These are the true Satanists. And whether they know it or not, and a lot of these people do, so all their minions below them have had plenty of notice, have had plenty of warning that these people are evil. They are outright, unabashedly evil. Okay, they are overtly evil. They admit to their evil. They go and have the cremation of Carrot, the Bohemian Grove, these most influential world leaders. Because if you're influencing American politics, America being the most powerful, at least perceived as the most powerful country on the planet, we've got the world reserve currency. That's really why we're the most powerful, is because our money has had the greatest, it's the world reserve currency. To this day, it's, and that has to do with the might makes right philosophy. It's really perverted. Okay, I don't know how else to say it. The whole system is completely perverted. It can't help but be, because the people that are creating the policies that we all have to live under, their minds are shot. This is all they have to do. These are the losers. These are the failures. These are the ones that are going to hell, and they're trying to drag as many of us as along with them as they can, because as we've all heard that saying that, misery loves company. It's that simple. That these people, they're just bent on getting their way. They keep destroying our currency. These people's methods and policies are unsound. So what do we expect from the currency? They keep on putting we the people in debt, and people say, well, I don't know, how am I going to pay the debt? I'm poor, so I'm off the hook. They're going to have to take taxes out of those that can afford to pay the debt. When all along, it's a charade. It's a scam. It's fraud. They don't want the debt paid ever. They want to heap more and more. Keep destroying the currency. Keep the Ponzi scheme going in perpetuity. QE 1, 2, 3, 4. Just keep pumping up the Wall Street. Make a critical mass. Keep a critical mass of people that are plugged into the establishment and benefiting from the fraud. Keep them content and happy. And if they ever should lose that critical mass, they don't care how bad it gets for the minority, okay, what they call the non-critical mass, which is really the vast majority. So this critical mass has nothing to do with majority or minority. It's strictly, these are the people in the positions of power. These are the people that vote. Their constituents, okay? The lobbyists, all these minions of the system. And if they're liars, they're going to hell. They need to jump ship, and they need to get really honest. They need to defy the system. We need to boycott these people. But it can't be done unless we've got those people in those positions of power that are plugged into the establishment. Okay? These establishmentarians. This critical mass of people that are supporting the current system. Democrat, Republican, they're useless. I can't remember the last time we had Jimmy Carter. Because the only reason I say Jimmy Carter, he may have been a real dumbass when it came to how to run the military, the whole failure thing, trying to get the hostages out of Iran. I know all about that. But why was he a four-year president? The elitists didn't like him. He was an egalitarian. The definition of elitist is opposite egalitarian, okay? These people are the hypocrites. These are the ones that want to keep this an exclusive privilege, the right, like a birthright, like they're special. This royalty kind of charade they're trying to pull on we the people, okay? That's what it is. The Bushes, how many Bushes do we need? Do we really need Jeb in the White House? Okay, what a dumbass. All these people, I mean, George Bush, baby Bush, he was the quintessential village idiot. You'll see his caption in the dictionary if you look up the term, okay? Not literally. I'm just having fun here, but you know what? The system is fraud, okay? The Clinton, what a useless pile. I mean, he was just a big betrayer to the people of America, a big backstabber to the working class, blue-collar folks out there, just the regular people that are doing all the heavy lifting in our society and get none of the kudos for it, okay? They get cheated. They're the ones being oppressed. And how do they oppress the people? Again, oppression through financial means, intentional impoverishment of the people. When it's harder and harder and harder for people to get ahead, we see the destruction of the middle class. Who could deny it? It's happening all around us. The explosion of poverty out there. More and more people needing the social welfare system. They create these all these safety nets, all these, well, here's the Band-Aid, right? We're going to, even though we created the wound, we're going to put the Band-Aid on, and now these jobs crop up surrounding around the problem. So now there's no interest in ever solving the problem because we've got all these problem-based jobs out there, one right after another. Okay, in the court system, the whole, the criminal industrial complex, by creating poverty, by oppressing the people, this is what they get. By this wealth disparity ever growing. I mean, people aren't stupid. They're human beings. They're very smart, made in the image and likeness of God. They can put two and two together. They know this is being done deliberately. And now that this fact is coming out, this truth, this reality is coming out to the masses, see, these people think they're 2 steps ahead with this weather thing, this threat of global warming. So they got to usurp. Mother Nature's too damn stupid. God's too damn stupid to fix this. We got to go in there and modify the weather. These people are repugnant. I recoil from these people. I can't stand their philosophy. They're evil. That's it. Okay, and unless they repent, they're going to perish. They're going to hell. And the one thing you can do and I can do is make sure I don't end up there with them. So I got to love my enemy. I got to keep preaching truth to power. I'm their best friend. I'm the one warning them. Who warned you to flee from the coming wrath? Well, I'm that guy that warned you. Okay, I know that God's cup that he's filling with the fury of his righteous indignation is coming down to earth. He's going to get angry, he's going to lose it, and he's going to pull out all the stops, okay? That's it. That's Judgment Day. That's the great and terrible day of the Lord. A really good time for the upright and righteous, those that hunger and thirst for righteousness and goodness and justice on the earth. But it's going to be a terrible time for the evildoers. So who's their best friend? It is guys like Jesus Christ, and I'm just tapping into that and saying, I'm my enemy's best friend. But I'm warning you that you're going to lose. And as much as you put on one charade after another, it's all coming to an end. We're getting ahead of you now. We know what you're doing. So you've got all these jobs now that surround the problem. How evil is that? How diabolical is that? How cunning is that, I ask? So now, no, we don't want that. If poverty goes away, man, I won't have a job because I work in the criminal industrial complex. Or I'm a social welfare worker. I work in the welfare industrial, the poverty industrial complex. Or I'm in the financial industrial complex. I put people in debt. That's my job. So, that'd be terrible if there was no poor people. That'd be terrible because nobody would need to borrow money. And I'd be out of business. So no, we've got to have poverty. It's imperative to have all these poor people. We've got to have this huge swath of people being left out of the loop. I don't buy it, not for a minute. Alex Jones had Harry Dent on the show this last week, and he was alluding to this idea we got to have these booms and busts and all this, and people got to lose sometimes. Well, that might be at first, if we had a fair system, but eventually people, they don't want to gamble with their money, so they would put it in safe securities. We would find a balance. But it would lead, if we had true capitalism, I think Harry Dent's an egalitarian, and he knows that, this is the best way, the free market supply and demand. It would lead to prosperity, but they can't have it. So you understand, they wouldn't be able to get away with the dubious war, okay? And look how many jobs surround the dubious war. Do you understand what I'm saying here, folks? It really is that evil. It's just like Satan was running the world, okay? Until the return of Jesus, all we can do is fight. That's it. And have some semblance of peace, just knowing that we're on the side of good and right. We're ready for God's will to be done on earth, whatever that may be. I'm not saying I know every aspect of it. I can't figure out all the minutiae, but I know this much. I got to be ready to live in a world without money, period, end of story. So we all got to figure out how we're going to serve each other, how the system, how the society is going to continue to work, and you just take money out of the equation, okay? How will we find prosperity? What is prosperity? Primarily, it's from a willing workforce. So as long as we're willing to serve, the system can't break down, period. And we can have prosperity because that's measured in stuff. You can have your houses anywhere in the world, as many as you want, your cars, as many as you want, collect them, who cares? Whatever, is that prosperity, we can all have that. Well, I'm going to wrap it up real quick here, folks. Here's an idea, too, that, events like Roseburg, knowing this guy was on SSRIs, the media won't talk about it, nobody's talking about it. Maybe this is another form of population reduction. And, maybe it's also benefits the rulers by gives them that, the high road in gun grabbing, right? But let's tell them to disarm. Let's start with the nuclear weapons. We don't want any of those, and then we'll go down from there. And once they get down to guns, we'll make the cops disarm first, and then we, the people, will be the last to give up our guns, okay? But, it's a stupid argument, okay, that, it's just not fair. Everybody has a right to self-defense. That's a God-given right. Alex Jones had Matt Drudge visit him at the studio. And it was a surprise to Alex. It probably wasn't a surprise to everybody in the staff, but they thought they'd surprise Alex. And he acted like a kid in a candy shop. He was so happy to see him. And, Matt Drudge seems like a really great guy to me. And, of course, Alex loves the guy to death. And I think it's a beautiful thing. The love a man can have for another man is, in a way, it's a very special thing. Like King Solomon alluded to this. I thought it was a very beautiful thing. I mean, they have a lot of respect and admiration for each other. And, I do too. I think that, it takes a lot of courage to stand up against these monsters that are running roughshod over us. But he made some very good points, and I suggest you listen to the interview that Alex had with him. But anyhow, I'm going to wrap it up with that, and hope you all have a great day, and we'll talk again sometime.